To open the latest in our series of Hursley Park videos, Hursley Park 12, the Laboratory Director, Geoff Robinson.
As we record this programme, it is in fact exactly 6 months ago since I took over as Laboratory Director, and I thought it would be valuable to spend a few minutes just commenting on the progress in that 6 months. Firstly, we finished 1988 with extremely good business results, achieving 112% of our plan for the year. And in fact, we have started 1989 in very good shape on the business front as well. We're currently running at approximately 107% of our plan, although of course there is still much of the year yet to go. Much of our effort over the past few months has been spent on strengthening our mission work within the laboratory. Later on in this video, you will hear from both Tony Miller and Kathy Veith about our success in ESD hardware. Also in ESD, we have established our graphics adapter work as a cornerstone of the future product plans for IBM's PS2 line. Presentation Manager has become well accepted as a product upon which IBM's future workstation software strategy will be developed. And in fact, later in the program, you will hear a few words from one of the independent software vendors on their usage of Presentation Manager. In our storage area, we are working on making proposals to the business that will build on our storage subsystem skills that we developed with the 9335. In CICS, I have personally been involved in ensuring that the product is well placed in the corporation's future transaction processing strategy. Away from the product areas, the most significant event, of course, has been the plan for replacing A and B block and the temporary buildings with a new building here on the site.
IBM has applied to the local authority for outline planning permission to develop certain areas for building and others for car parking and access roads. Initially, it's hoped to demolish the temporary buildings and replace the aging blocks A and B. The latter, built in the 60s, is visually a very prominent building. A new low-level building in its place would make the IBM site less obtrusive. However, any building work on the site generates understandable concern in the village, and these proposals are no exception. For 30 years, there has been successful cooperation between Hursley Village and IBM UK laboratories. To maintain this relationship, it is important that we take every care. In our everyday working environment, taking care is also important. This will gain new emphasis later this year, when the introduction of new legislation, among other things, makes all employees, not just managers, even more responsible for health and safety at work. Special situations require special measures. For example, when working on a roof, a safety harness, an anchor wire, and a helmet are essential. Handling chemicals, necessary of course in some areas of our development work, can require special precautions. Care and attention to detail contribute to the work environments of IBM UK laboratories in each of its diverse locations. These environments, in turn, contribute to our excellent reputation. This reputation earns our missions. Most recently, our monitor and adapter missions were enhanced. On a recent visit to Hursley, Vice President of Display Systems in ESD, Kathy Veith.
Most of you know, we did make a major consolidation of mission into the Hursley Monitor organization, and I'm very pleased and proud of that decision and looking forward to having that pay big dividends for Display Systems and for the IBM company.
A significant opportunity for the laboratories. This comment from Monitor Products Manager Tony Miller.
First, I want to thank everyone who has been involved in the Monitor mission so far. It has been a very successful mission and has resulted in the expanded role that IBM has placed in Hursley. This is truly a team achievement. It involves not just the direct people within my own department, but all of the technical cost centers and business cost centers throughout the laboratory. So I congratulate you all on this tremendous success. Now, of course, we have an expanded responsibility. We have a new challenging role to develop a family of converged products. That means we must produce converged products across all of the system's environments. For example, the 3270 family, the 5250 family, and of course the PS2 monitors. Now, this is indeed a very challenging goal. We should provide leadership products with leadership function, leadership price, leadership quality, and perhaps most challenging of all, leadership cost performance.
This message was clearly reinforced to a group of 25 Hursley managers when, on a recent visit to Hursley from White Plains, Greg Fleming, the Director of Manufacturing and Quality Operations for Personal Systems, stressed the importance of product quality as a state of mind.
We have to start thinking like a microwave oven. How many of you have a microwave oven? When you took it out of the box, did it work or did it fail? I mean, has anybody taken a microwave oven out of the box and had a failure? I will tell you, it's hardly any. I've been talking to a lot of groups, and I hardly have anybody that had ever had a failure. How many of you had a failure on a Sony TV that you took out of the box? We have to start putting that mentality into our heads, and that's the mentality we have to put in our products. It's a consumer mentality, that you expect 100% reliability out of the box.
So I look to all of you to help with this expanded mission and to justify IBM's confidence in Hursley. I'm sure we're up to the challenge. Let's get on with the job.
Images like these may be everyday fare in the laboratories, but how do they get on the screen? Driving the monitor is a PS2 systems unit which contains cards, like this advanced graphics adapter. On the card are chips, this one developed at Hursley. They contain thousands of components invisible to the naked eye. Let's enlarge them 4,000 times. At this magnification, a human hair would cover everything you now see on the screen. But what does all this give our customers? Colin Powell talks to the micrographics president, George Grayson.
You have in front of you an 8514, which is our top-of-the-line adapter and monitor. How important is it that we have that kind of resolution in the applications that micrographics does?
Well, I think it's very important. That's actually important from two perspectives. One is the application kind of perspective, but you also have the user interface issues. And as you're trying to deliver a graphical user interface, it's important to have very high resolution, because people are going to be trying to look at the screen for long periods of time, and if it's blurry, obviously, that is not good. From an application perspective, we're doing graphic arts, technical illustration, and it's important that we're able to render a very high-quality image on the screen.
Your company, Micrographics, has now made a considerable investment in OS2 and in Presentation Manager in particular. What were the key factors that led you to make that investment?
Well, it was more a logical extension of what we were already doing in some respects. Windows had a number of severe limitations, particularly as far as memory is concerned, the device driver interface, and some other things like that. We as a company are very committed to the graphical user interface, and of course that's embodied in the Presentation Manager.
Well, now you've had a chance to develop some applications over quite a period of time. Do you still think that was the right decision?
Oh, unquestionably.
Great news. But what of our longer established success in software? Over to Marcia Gillespie.
On July 8th, 1969, IBM shipped the first release of Kix. This year, in July 1989, we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of that event. We're going to have a huge marquee here on the lawn, and lots of events, a press conference, a technical seminar, a dinner dance for 1,200 people, and lots more.
The CICS 20th anniversary couldn't quite run to a swimming pool. This one is in the grounds of the Lyndhurst Park Hotel, venue for a 3-day meeting of a task force of 21 young employees of the laboratories. They were given the unusual and very challenging exercise of looking ahead to the year 2000, of forecasting both information technology trends and how the laboratory should position itself for success in the 21st century. Geoff Robinson wanted to hear the views from these young minds, perhaps a very different perspective from that of present management. for they represent the generation of managers, professional engineers and programmers who will take Hursley through the first decades of the next century. They offered illuminating input to the task force working on Hursley strategy. The exercises culminated in the 21 young people preparing and presenting conclusions to Geoff Robinson.
Now, we think that IBM in the year 2000 should be in the business of information management. And in particular, IBM Hursley has a contribution to make by providing a thing which we've called an information manager.
Given by John Darlington, and his group have decided to call theirs the distributed enterprise.
Our group are quite happy for this to be interactive, if you want, Geoff.
I was about to say, whether you're happy or not, John, this is going to be a slightly different format of session.
We're going to decentralise the customer's business, okay, whoever the customer may be. We're going to break down the old barriers of location and function.
When you say we're going to do that, do you mean we, the IT industry, are going to make that happen,
No,
or you in your presentation?
We, the world.
Okay, okay.
Yeah?
This is
nothing,
this is
nothing
like a modest presentation.
This is, I could say this is IBM, but it's not. It's any enterprise, any business. This is the way we see things going from a business point of view.
Okay, what do you think?
The sessions were very interactive, with much enthusiasm and discussions throughout the afternoon.
But the thing that you have to take into account as you are doing is the whole question of personal motivation of people. And one of the reasons for bringing you people together here is because I feel that the personal motivations of me and my generation are not going to be the same as the personal motivations of you and your generation, just because you grew up at a different time in history than I did. And we will get the future wrong if we assume that people's personal motivations stay constant throughout time.
After a third presentation by Surjit Chana on behalf of his group, there was a short break for tea.
Is to get some message across and hope that it's received by the person at the
Then
other
it was
end.
back to the workroom, where Geoff Robinson assessed the presentations in a relaxed and informal fashion, which triggered further discussion and comments from the group. 2 days later, back at Hursley, Geoff was again assessing 3 presentations, the finalists for the Laboratory Director's Quality Award.
There were 3 excellent presentations. I was particularly pleased that without any connivance whatsoever, because I went through with Vic how they'd actually chosen the finalists. They were from 3 quite different areas of the laboratory. And let me stress that I had not seen any of the presentations or had any briefing in advance, so you were sort of judged on the performance this morning in the work. Let me put you all out of the misery by saying that the winner, not clearly, these things are never that straightforward, and there were 3 very good entrants. The winners were ISP.
They tackled the problem of the release of engineering changes to manufacturing. This has long been a challenging area, and ISP's innovative and thorough approach has resulted in a solution totally acceptable to the manufacturing plants. This is a further example of the benefits of close cooperation between development and manufacturing.
At the start of this program, I said a few words about our accomplishments over the past 6 months. And I'd like to close with a few words about the future. We have a task force running in the laboratory under Tom Haywood, reporting to John Pugmire. I commissioned that task force to look at a wide range of subjects that affect our future. For example, synergy between the product areas, new business opportunities, our role in Europe, our developing skill needs, and so on. This task force will be completing its work at the end of June, and I will be reporting back to you all in a series of presentations at the beginning of July.